Hello dreamers, I am Mr. 23. Today we are adventuring into a world where a little boy drifts through the skies on a magical jellyfish, and I'll show you how I brought this to life in Photoshop. We are going to use this image from FreePic, also this one with the jellyfish and the cape. All images are from FreePic website and you can download them from there. After we added the photo with the jellyfish, we need to make some adjustments because we cannot use it like that. First step is to set this blending mode to screen. Then, because we still have a background around it, we need to get rid of the background. The easiest way is to add a levels adjustment layer, and let's clip this inside by holding Alt and click between the layers. And here we are going to drag the left slider to the right and also the middle one, so we can get rid of the dark background around the jellyfish. And because we still have some particles around the jellyfish, I'm going to click on the layer with the jellyfish, add a mask, and with a black color I will paint and remove all the artifacts and the things that I don't want to be seen. If you are curious on how I created the rest of the artwork, you should join my Patreon, where you'll have access to the full tutorial of this artwork and so much more. Now let's make the jellyfish smaller by pressing Ctrl and T and drag the sides. After that, I will add a motion blur to this jellyfish so we can simulate a bit of movement. So go to filter and here choose blur and motion blur. Add an angle of 4 and a distance of 15. Now let's bring the main character into our scene. So let's select the little boy. For that I'm going to use the pen tool, or you can use select subject if you don't have enough time or you don't want to spend enough time with the pen tool. After I finish with the pen tool, I'm going to press Ctrl and Enter and then press on the mask. Now for the hair, I'm going to refine the selection by double clicking on the mask, and here I'm going to use the Refine Edge Brush tool and I'm going to paint on the sides of the hair. And then I'm going to press OK and I'm going to hold Alt and click on the mask. Here we don't want this black area to be, so I'm going to take the brush tool, the hard round brush, and I'm going to paint with the white color on that area. But we still have some areas outside this mask that are not looking that well. And for that, I'm going to switch the blending mode of the brush to overlay. And now I'm going to switch the color to black and I'm going to paint away the areas that I don't like how they look. After I finish, I'm going to hold Alt and click again on the mask. Now I'm going to remove the parts that I don't want from his costume. Even if I'm not a big fan of AI, but the easiest way in our case to remove those parts is to use generative fill that Photoshop has. So I'm going to select by taking the lasso tool. I'm going to select the areas that I want to remove, so this star, and also by holding Shift I'm going to select this area of the hand and also this area here. Alright, and then I'm going to press on generative fill and just generate, and then just hold Alt and click between the layers and it will add that removed part into the costume. To change the color of his costume, I'm going to use again the pen tool because I have a lot of freedom to decide the parts that I want to select. So I'm just going to select the parts of the costume that I want. After that, press Ctrl and Enter and let's add a hue and saturation adjustment layer, and it would automatically add that selection to the hue and saturation mask. Let's clip this inside by holding Alt, click between the layers, and we can now change the color. I want something like a blue color, and I'm going to change the color of the mask also for the belt and for the shoes into another color, and I'm going to do the same steps again. Now let's bring back the cape. So I have this cape also from FreePic and I'm going to select this one from the top and I drag it here and I place it underneath our little boy, and I'm going to change also the color because I want this to be a different color. Then I'm going to add a levels adjustment layer, hold Alt, click between the layers, and I'm going to make this a bit darker. And I'm going to click on the mask and invert it with the brush tool and the sovereign brush, also the white color. I'm going to paint on the bottom area to have this part darker than the rest. And because we just added this part that shouldn't be there, of course we need to adjust the color of this red part that the boy still has there. Then I'm going to select everything that I created, right click and convert it to a smart object. And with this smart object I'm going to drag it into my artwork. So first thing, Ctrl T, right click, flip horizontal, and let's drag him and make him smaller. Let's add a mask and let's hide this part of the leg by painting with the black color on that area. So now it looks like he has one leg on one side and the other leg on the other side. Underneath we are going to create a small shadow, so let's create a new layer and set it to multiply. Then take the sovereign brush and drag the top points to the bottom, and underneath that leg I'm going to slowly paint a shadow. And because the light source here isn't that powerful, I'm going to just continue to paint a bit, but nothing big. And because we added the little boy on that area, we can see that he has a lot of contrast. Let's add an exposure adjustment layer and clip it inside. And I'm going to change a bit the values here on the exposure. And by modifying all those settings, he looks much better now on that area. Now let's add some highlights on the little boy. Create a new layer, fill it with black, and clip that layer inside the little boy's layer and set it to linear dodge. Then take again the brush tool and I'm going to paint with a reddish color on some parts of his body. Now let's add a blend if to this layer, so double click on the layer and here let's drag a bit the left slider to the right and now hold Alt and drag it even more. Now I'm going to do the same thing, create exactly the same layer and clip it inside, fill it with the black color, set it to linear dodge, and I'm going to paint again with a brighter color like this one. And again the same thing, double click on the layer and add the blend if to disperse the color much better. Now let's add a bit of motion blur to the little boy, so select the little boy layer and go to filter, and on the blur let's choose motion blur. And here I'm going to add this type of motion blur, -4 angle and 2 pixels distance. Then I'm going to add again the linear dodge layer, but this time I want to add the blend if, so let's set it to linear dodge and I'm not going to clip it inside. And I'm going to slowly paint with a brighter color like this one. Then I'm going to draw some lines that will help me to create the illusion that the little boy is driving the jellyfish. So from his hands I'm just going to paint something like that, and then on top of everything I'm going to add a new layer and I'm going to mask him even better with the background. So I'm going to take a fog brush, select the color near him, and I'm going to lower the flow to like 3-4% and I'm going to paint over. As always, if you like my content, subscribe to my channel and please let me know in the comments what type of videos would you like to see more from me in the future. See you next time.